People who are born here, they are called ABCD. ABCD stands for American Born Confused Desis. Do you know why they are confused?
Is it because we can't speak the language properly?
Have you felt any discrimination or racism in terms of Muslim and non-Muslim?
Yeah, yes.
Have they saw your name and say?
Yes, it has. So anytime I've passed the border between like US and Canada, every single time it's, what are you doing here? Why?
When you talk about US and other countries' relation, from my perspective, I feel like US is very self-centered and selfish.
I feel that the war is making the US money, which is why we keep going to war every like what?
The war in general, right? Sometimes it feels like it was all created. It was not. It was created by Israel itself.
I think if they have the intelligence and the ability to take out a Hamas leader, why have like 50,000 civilians or more died?
Currently, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh
Left to take refuge in India, yeah.
India, and then came to US. What do you feel about the current problems people are facing these days in terms of like stress, depression?
I think people are too hung up on the end goal and not necessarily like the journey to get there.
And people are working day and night to gather more money.
Do you feel like people are losing sight of the things that actually matter?
The things which actually matters are family.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't think the generation after us gonna get married ever.
You don't think so?
I think they are in a different game. The emotions are not in their DNA. So let's get started. Hira, thanks to be in my channel. It's called Mindfulness with Manish. As you know, you are a fan of my page.
Happy to be here.
How do you feel to come into my podcast?
This is the first time I've had a podcast done, so it's exciting. It's a new experience.
Nice. Today we're going to talk a lot about your journey. So we are sitting right in front of a beautiful lake. It's I don't remember that lake, but it's Salt Lake City Lake.
You're so serious.
But we are in Daybreak, which is in South
Yes.
Jordan.
Yeah.
So before we jump into the topics, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Basically, where were you born, and how did you come to Salt Lake City or Utah, and what did you do professionally?
Okay, so I was born here in Utah. My mom and dad came here from Pakistan and India back in the 80s. They met here, they had me, I grew up here. While I visit back home, here and there, my life has manifested here. So currently what I do for work is I'm a user experience designer, which is...
Yeah, which is?
Okay, let me think for a second. So I'm a user experience designer, and currently I work on mobile applications as well as website applications. So that's what I do full time.
Got it. And do you like your job?
I do.
Got it. Nice. And how long have you been doing this job for?
So I did a career switch about 7 years ago. So it's been about 7 years.
7 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds good. And you mentioned your mom and dad are from Pakistan and India. Your dad is from Pakistan side or India side?
India side.
India side. And your mom is Pakistan. And they met here.
Yeah.
So it's like a very multicultural difference.
Yes.
India and Pakistan, it's like doesn't go together, but they did that. So during that, did they tell you interesting stories like how they met and some conflict or some pushback they had from their parents when they were getting married?
You know, that's a good question. They didn't have too much pushback from the parents because their religious beliefs were the same. But I think...
Oh, they were both Muslims?
Yes, but I think
okay.
Initially, when the families didn't know where the religious standing was, there was some pushback. But it seems that the siblings were fine
like
with
if
it.
Like Hindus and Muslim marrying together, that may be a problem.
That might be a problem, but I don't think my parents saw it that way. It was more like coming together for the love, and then having the same religious beliefs turned out well.
And which part of India your dad is from?
Delhi.
Delhi? Okay, nice. So you, as you mentioned, you are born here, Salt Lake City, right? So people like, I was not born here. I am a Desi myself, and you are a Desi. We have some differences, like culture differences.
Yeah.
I come from India directly. I lived there 22, 23 years. People who are born here, they are called ABCDs.
Yeah, that's
ABC,
true.
you have heard that term?
Yes, I have.
What is the full form of that?
No, yeah.
Yeah. What is the full form? What does ABCD stands for?
American born, something Desi.
Confused
Yeah.
Desis.
Yeah.
So yeah, ABCD stands for American Born Confused Desis. Do you know why they are confused? Why this term came into existence?
Is it because we can't speak the language properly, or is it because we have a hard time with the identity crisis?
Yeah, exactly. I think because of that.
Mm.
From my point of view, I think people are born here. They are neither fully American and neither fully Desis.
Hmm.
They're in the middle, right?
Yeah.
They cannot go back to India and they can't speak the language properly. And here, basically, they speak proper English, like act with accent and stuff, but they're not Americanized. Also, like the white people will not, like they can't gel with white people, I
Like
think.
fully accept them.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think, which is fine. And it's just a term we call them, and the ABCD call us FOB, FOAB. Have you heard
Fresh
of
off the boat.
fresh out of
Yeah.
the boat?
That's
Yeah.
true.
So we keep on pulling each other's leg. That's what we used to do when I was in school. Okay, so talking about that, right? So have you seen any cultural difference when you were born here between you and other people who were not born here? Anything you have realized which was different?
Cultural differences between like a ABCD and like
ABCD and non-ABCD.
Americans.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the biggest cultural differences I've noticed has been with like the family unit and the fealty children feel towards their parents. I think ABCDs as well as FOBs, we have a specific kind of loyalty to our families as well as to the parents. I don't see that same type of paradigm with Americans. They will care, they will love for the parents, but there's not necessarily like a ingrained loyalty within them.
Hmm. So you are saying people who are non-ABCDs, they're more loyal to their families. They're
I would
more
say
family oriented.
they're less loyal, but not in the negative sense. They're just, I would just say that they're more like adventure seeking. Families kind of take a like a back burner, the family that they come from.
People who are living here, or people who are
People who are living here,
okay.
born here, living here.
Hmm.
Whereas ABCDs and those from like India, Pakistan, they will still have that same fealty towards their family,
Towards their family.
even in the older
That
age.
is true. Have you felt any like racism or discrimination while living here?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if I would term it racism. I would say it's more prejudice ideas, in the sense that when people don't understand where I come from, some of my cultural norms, I hear certain remarks or obnoxious comments. I don't know if I would call it racism.
What do you mean by prejudice?
They see things a certain way already, so they don't know any different.
Stereotyping.
Yeah.
So they stereotype basically you are coming from this land or this culture.
So you must smell like curry all the time because you come from India.
Ah, okay.
But it's not like racism.
Mm.
That's for me personally. I do have friends that have been like through some racist situations, but yeah, actually I haven't been through anything. I also don't look for it. If I was looking for it all the time, I would probably be noticing that more.
Yeah, I feel from my perspective, I can tell you, I have not felt any kind of those kind of things here in US, but in Europe, yes.
Yeah.
When I was in Paris, I was with my friends, other Desi friends. I was not let in a bar because they told me that it's already full. But when I went away and I saw on the back, they were letting people in.
Really?
Yeah. So that's something I felt. And also in Italy, I felt like people are speaking, even if they speak English, they were speaking in Italian.
Okay.
In front of me. Like they were honoring their language, but if I don't speak it, why to speak Italian, right? Just speak in a common language, which is English. I think it's everywhere. But also, have you felt any difference between ABCDs and non-ABCDs here? Do you gel more with non-ABCDs or Americans, or do you more gel with people like you who are born here?
I think it really depends on the mindset that you bring to like a friendship or relationship. If I go in with the mindset that I'm never going to be able to understand this person's perspective or meet them in the middle, then yeah, I'm probably not going to connect with them, whether they're non-ABCD or American born, or if they are ABCD. So my mindset is typically like, let's see if there is some type of friendship or relationship worth pursuing with this individual and common ground, and then we can deal with the externals later.
Got it. So what you are saying is it depends upon the common interests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like vibe, chemistry.
Yeah.
So the background, whether
I
are
think that's
ABCD.
secondary. I think that's secondary.
That's a good way of saying. That's great. Have you felt anything? It goes back in the culture and religion.
Yeah.
Have you felt any discrimination or racism in terms of Muslim and non-Muslim? Like once you are coming, like for example, if you are immigration You're passing immigration.
Yeah. Yes.
Have they saw your name and say, oh, what do you do in US?
Yes.
They have taken you to a second room for security check.
Ye-
This has happened to me. That's why I'm asking. But
Really?
I'm not Muslim.
Yeah.
When I was on visa, I'm on green card right now. But has this happened to you?
Yes, it has. So anytime I've passed the border between like US and Canada, every single time it's what are you doing here? Why? I've noticed like between the questions I'm asked and like friends in my party are asked, it's much more in depth. It's much more why? Who are
Hmm.
you with? What did you do? Where did you come from? Where are you going? It's like they're almost looking for something. But I mean, besides answering their question, keeping a smile on my face,
Hmm. Even if you're a citizen, they still ask you?
they still ask me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm. I thought citizens and green card holders get additional respect or something.
No, I
No,
don't think so. I think it depends on the person asking you, but I
that
haven't
is true.
been the recipient of that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel bad?
Nope.
Okay. What do you
I
feel like?
think the more negativity I feel around it, that's how I'm gonna act. So in my head, it's just them doing their job,
Hmm.
and I don't care.
Okay.
That's usually my mindset.
That's a
The
good way
less
of
I care
thinking.
about it, the less it'll affect me.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So US has a lot of like hard immigration rules in
Hmm.
the US. What do you feel about the? Do you like living in the US? If given a chance to move to a different country, what would that be?
If I had the chance to move to another country, I would do so to adventure and explore. I think it makes more sense to earn money in the US and use that money outside of the
Somewhere else. So
US
you for you
because it's
US is
strong. It's a
you.
strong currency.
So US is good for earning money,
Yes.
but
Use that money to
everything
make
is
you more
expensive
money
here.
outside of the
Yeah, that is
US.
true.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the government here in the US? Do you like it? Do you don't like it? Yeah.
Oh, that's a loaded question. I mean, truthfully speaking, it seems like there are good people in the government, but it doesn't feel like the government is for the people, especially in the last couple of years, especially with like COVID and the way things turned out with um, like the policies they put around it. It feels more like the government is instantiated to make money and secure interests for politicians and people with money than
Like
it is
business
to
oriented people.
than to take care of like the common folks. Like for example, for all those banks that needed like a bailout a couple of years ago in 2020 because they weren't making enough sales or
Hmm.
anything or whatever, or even like the airlines, all the citizens got what, like a $1,600 payout, which is great, which
Hmm.
isn't bad, but that's coming out of our tax money that we have to pay anyways.
Yeah.
We didn't get
Right.
any bailouts necessarily.
So it doesn't matter whether the government is Democrat or liberals. What are the two parties? Democrat and
Republican,
Republicans.
I think
Uh,
it's two sides of the same coin.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah,
So both are equal.
I think so.
Whatever we select. Yeah. And now the next president, people are saying it's going to be Trump back again. What do you think about Trump?
I think Trump is a good businessman. I think he knows how to make money. He seems like he is not the most diplomatic individual ever.
Hmm.
And I think he says a lot of stupid stuff to gain criticism. But at the end of the day, it's all attention, whether it's positive or negative. So I think he might be good for the country financially. But I think when it comes to like internal relations
That's
or
not
like political relations,
immigration.
there's a lot of strife.
Yeah.
He's not going to help anything. He'll
Right.
make it worse.
Right.
Um,
That is true.
yeah.
When you talk about US and other countries' relation, so what do you feel like? I like from my perspective, I feel like US is very self-centered and selfish
Oh,
in terms
yeah.
of like making policies. Like I know like when I was growing up, they were against India. Now they are in favor of India because now they are against China, because China and India are anti, so they are favoring India to grow and all. But US was always politically minded. They always go after what is best for them,
That's
especially
true.
the war that is happening recently, which is Gaza versus Israel. Everyone knows who is right, who is wrong, but still US is favoring Israel. What do you feel about the war and the
Yeah.
US favoring Israel?
I feel three things specifically. I feel that the war is making the US money, which is why we keep going to war every, like, what, 10 or so years. It makes us a lot of money. The second thing that I feel is that it seems like we have been bought out by Israel, considering all the money they've been lobbying into our politicians, considering the fact that at the drop of a dime, we will change our policies to accommodate them. The third thing that I feel is there is a general lack of respect for human life. I think everybody's so caught up in autopilot and the everyday problems in their own life, they're unable to see things at a macro level.
Beyond,
Yeah.
that is true. And talking about like the war in general, right? How it started and all that was, sometimes it feels like it was all created. It was not. It was created by Israel itself. Like it was like looking at the facts, right? So Gaza attacked Israel,
Mhm.
and Israel has a big like intelligence agency. It's called, what is it called? Okay, forget it.
I don't know.
Yeah, so they have a big intelligence
Right.
agency. They should have been able to figure that out, but that let that happen, and it happened for 1 or 2 days, and the war is still happening, and there were a lot of genocides and stuff that happened in Gaza. What do you feel about? And I saw your posts
Yeah.
posting about that on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think you have a lot of facts and everything. You follow a lot of news. So what are your views on that?
On the genocide occurring, I would say that it wasn't started in October of 2023. I would say it started 75 years ago. I don't think Israel's innocent. I think they know what they're doing. I think if they have the intelligence and the ability to take out a Hamas leader
They can do
taking
anything.
refuge in Iran, then they have the same intelligence and ability to snipe the rest of the Hamas leaders. Now, why have like 50,000 civilians or more died
Exactly.
because of this genocide?
Yeah, I keep on thinking that like same thing happens between India and Pakistan, right?
Exactly. You're
But
right.
India doesn't attack Pakistan.
No.
India attacks terrorists.
Yeah.
That is a
Exactly.
thing that needs to be
Yeah.
done, right? India knows where they are because nobody's fool. Like it's common sense. Like those are intelligence agencies. They know where
Right.
the terrorists are. Like the Uri attack that happened, right? But instead, Israel attacked the entire country. They did
Exactly.
not attack the people who harmed them. Instead, they should attack the people who basically attacked them. But people are common people. Why they are killing civilians, right? That doesn't make sense. That's proper genocide, and nobody is helping them. Same thing happened in Russia and Ukraine. Same thing happens long. So it's a common thing.
Congo, Sudan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we can't do anything as a common. We can only donate and stuff. We can.
I would actually disagree. I think us common people can do a lot, but we need to like rally together and use whatever influence and power and money we have to actually do something. And I think the first step in that would be to elect better politicians or new politicians or completely move away from some of the governmental systems we use. And I'm talking about America specifically because that's where I grew up. That's what I know best. I can't speak for other countries.
Yeah. So you are saying move away from the government, move away from where?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned it earlier, but the government should be for the people. COVID really illuminated the fact that the government is not for the people. It's not here to help us. And that's my personal belief. But if we common folk want to do something about it, we need to band together and do something about it collectively. I think having like, as an example, like 1,500 people do something in Utah and then like 1,200 people do something in Texas, that's great. Something's better than nothing, but we need to band together and create like an actual movement and then see the ripple effects of that like on a broader scale.
Movement for like changes for people
for positive
awareness.
change. Yeah.
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 That's what happens whenever something, like if some community is affected, then people go out. Some people go out, some people don't.
Yeah.
So we need to be.
I think having like solidarity.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
What about the recent war that is not war? So same thing happening in Bangladesh, where basically there's no war, but there's internal conflicts,
Like strife. Yeah.
strike, and suddenly the prime minister of Bangladesh left the
Left
country,
to take a refuge in India. Yeah.
India, and then came to US.
Oh, she did.
Via India, she came to US.
I don't. Okay.
I don't know why that happened, and there's suddenly a lot of attacks happening against Hindus in the Bangladesh. A lot of temples are destroyed. I don't know. Whenever there's a possible like a political instability,
Yeah.
they always make a religious thing.
I think
It's like against Muslims, against Hindus, and stuff like that. What do you feel about that?
I think again 3 things. I don't think people's beliefs, religious beliefs, should be attacked. I think there's a lack of respect of human life in general. I think people are unable to see over the hill of if you're not with me, then you're against me. In terms of like Bangladesh, I think it's really unfortunate what's happening. I don't have all the facts. I don't want to say something amiss, but I would say that the lady taking refuge in US is really weird.
I think she should show some courage and should not have left the country.
Exactly.
Because she was at a very leadership position.
Yeah.
It's whatever it is. But Bangladesh is in a very hard, like bad situation. I hope things work for them. Yeah. Okay. Moving topics to the travel. I know you have been an avid travel. You travel a lot. What is your favorite country so far?
America. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. My My favorite country so far.
That will be your least favorite country.
No, actually.
Is
Is
it?
this gonna go on the podcast?
Yeah.
If I say, oh.
Why?
Okay, my least favorite city would be Paris. I think it was a huge catfish. I did not care for it.
Catfish?
Yeah,
What is catfish?
like fake.
Fake. Okay.
Like not what I thought it would be. I don't know.
It's more like I feel Paris is more dirty, more unclean, kind of
I
city.
don't think the food is good. I don't think the service is
Safety.
good. People are rude.
Okay.
Yeah, people are pretty rude. My favorite country though, Iceland. I really liked Iceland. I took a trip there in 2016, and it was really fun. And we road tripped around the south side of the island. It was really nice.
Any fun stories you had
In Iceland?
in Iceland or any country you want to share?
I gotta think for a little bit. Let me think.
You met somebody or something happened or something?
I don't. They're not like good stories. I have like weird ones.
Okay, weird ones is fine as well.
So I think it was in Croatia. It was me and a friend traveling together, and I forgot what our car looked like.
Car?
And our car, because we had a rental car,
Okay.
so I forgot what it looked like. And this is probably a bad idea, but we were sitting in the parking lot, and we sat there for like 2 hours trying to figure out what the car was. So anyways, I thought it was like this red car. I ended up walking to it, and I didn't know that there was somebody in it. So I opened it, and I was like, okay, I think this is my car. Why is this weird person sitting in here? And I remember they like started screaming at me in like Croatian. I was like, oh, maybe this isn't the car. I think I was kind of bewildered, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know which is our car.
Okay.
And then we found it eventually. That's the only story I have.
Okay, nice.
No, I lost my passport once. That wasn't fun. Oh, actually, okay, I actually do have a story. So I was in Turkey, and we had like 3 hours to get to the airport, and our taxi driver took like an hour and a half roundabout, taking the long way to the freaking airport. I don't know. We probably thought we were stupid, which we kind of were. We didn't know the area. Anyways, we finally get to the airport, and my credit card wasn't working to like pay him. So we ended up missing our flight. We had to
You missed your flight?
Yeah, we missed our flight. And this is the one to Paris because we had a layover there. So we ended up sleeping all night in the Turkish airport. Got tickets to Paris. We were trying to figure out where the kiosk to print the tickets were because I had them on my phone. Anyways, I think some of the Turkish airline people are just not happy with their job because they kept telling us the wrong stuff. It was me, my friend, and like a couple other people. And anyways, another person in the party ended up like flipping out on one of like the airline workers.
What do you mean by flipping out?
They had like a verbal exchange. He was acting like a Karen.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
So they were kicked out?
Yeah.
Of the plane or airport?
The airport.
Airport? Wow.
Yeah. Me and my friend got to go on the flight, but that was really funny to watch, but not maybe funny to experience.
You should have recorded that video.
I should have.
You did not?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No, but it lives in my head. So.
What about the losing the passport story?
I don't think that one's as entertaining. I just didn't know where I put it. I put it at the bottom of my suitcase, and I thought it was in my pocket. So I was freaking out, and I remember I called the taxi back to check the taxi. It wasn't there. I checked my friend's luggage. It wasn't there. I was just like freaking out.
But you found it?
I found it eventually.
Oh, that's fine. That's good. I lost my wallet recently, 2 months ago when I was in Mexico. It has $1,000 cash. All the credit cards, all gone.
All of it?
I found it when I was 5 minutes away from so it happened in the parking lot. I started driving, and I feel that there was no wallet in my pocket. Then I drove back. Then I searched the nearby areas. I asked the police guys. And I don't speak Spanish, so I was using the translator. But they were helpful, They told me we can let you use the security cameras here. So what I saw was, while I was taking my car out, I was still in the car. I saw a lady picking up my wallet while I dropped it. My mistake, my bad. And then she just ran.
Oh.
And I was not able to find her. So lucky day for her. And I went to the police station, filed the report and stuff like that. But that's not an interesting story, but there was no cash, no cards for me. But there's like technology,
Yeah.
It's like Western Union. My friends are there in Mexico. They lended me the money. So while you travel, right, do you feel like sometimes alone, solo, like you travel solo, right?
Yeah, I have.
Do you feel like bored or like unsafe or something like that?
Quite the opposite. Actually, I feel a lot of freedom, and I make a mental note of places not to go if it's a shady area. But I actually really enjoy traveling
So
solo.
you are mindful about where to go, where not to go.
Yeah, I'm not going to be wearing like loads of expensive jewelry, right? But most of the places I've traveled solo have been more like for outdoor purposes, like a backpacking trip or like climbing trip. But it's been really enjoyable. It's kind of nice taking things at your own pace and like maybe like not doing an activity you initially wanted to go do. Whereas like with a group, it's nice having like the company, but sometimes I feel like I'm obligated to go do stuff even when I don't want to do it.
Yeah, with a group, yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. But solo, you are
Yeah.
you are the king or queen of your own journey, right?
Yeah.
But you have to be mindful about the areas. But if you're backpacking, doesn't matter. You are going and hiking and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I really like it because you can meet a lot of people. Like I've met a lot of really cool people, and I met some cool friends. And I don't know if I would have like stepped out of my shell enough if I had been like with people.
Yeah. When you make cool friends, you make good like long-lasting friends who you talk to often, or do you think those friends are superficial and you never talk to them
Oh,
when you travel?
I feel like there's a handful of people where we're going through a shared experience and that's why we'll be friendly to each other. And then I think there's like a handful of people where it's like, this is a really interesting individual. I'd like to like actually be friends with you once the trip ends. And yeah, I would say it's been like 50-50. There's like some people I talk to at the end of a trip and then that kind of peters out. And then there's like, you know, like 2 or 3 people who I will keep up with in the long term.
Which is the country you will never go again?
Country or city?
Anything.
Paris. I would never go there again.
You just said Paris is not good, but tell about the second city or country.
Oh. Maybe Cuba.
Oh, you've been to Cuba?
Yeah.
Why did you say it's not? You will not go there again?
It's not because I didn't enjoy Cuba. It's because like when we went, all the restaurants would be closed after 9 p.m. and it's like we couldn't find anything to eat. That was really frustrating, and I get very hangry. I get very hangry. Yeah. So I couldn't deal with it. So I wouldn't go there again. I might do it again on a full stomach.
You can go to Domino's or Subway. They are open 24/7, no?
We didn't find those there. Unless we weren't looking hard enough, but I don't think I'd go back to Cuba.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the current problems people are facing these days?
Can you elaborate?
In terms of like stress, depression?
I think people are too hung up on the end goal and not necessarily like the journey to get there. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay. Like, I think a lot of stress and depression is due to the fact that it's so easy to compare yourself to anybody else on like Instagram, Twitter, whatever other social platform, or even by word of mouth. I think people get very hung up on comparing themselves to other people their age. And that leads to a lot of depression. I think also the fact that we are so beholden to the money we make and what we can do with that money. It's really hard to like get out of that 9-to-5 life.
Are you happy with your life?
There's room for improvement.
Okay. What is the ideal life looks for you? Like what's the ideal state you want to achieve?
I think my ideal state would be being 100% content with where I am, but having like the ambition to do better and grow and make improvements to certain areas of my life without feeling like I'm not getting anywhere in my life.
Okay.
Or like always in a constant like circle of change.
You want to be in this constant circle of change, or do you
No, let me do that over again. So my ideal state in life would be being happy with where I'm at and identifying things that I would like to do better with without making myself feel bad for not being at a specific level.
Got it. And have you dealt with stress and depression in your life?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, and how you came out of it?
Well, I woke up one day and told myself I am sick and tired of my own bullshit. And I told myself to just do little things at a step. One thing here and one thing there, and then before you know it, it's becoming like a bigger change.
And it helped you?
It helped me.
Some people join some therapy, some people do like their hobby and stuff. I do travel.
I think
to help
having,
me
I think traveling like helps me. Also having like a good support group of like friends you can go to. Or,
talk?
yeah, huh?
You can talk them, talk to them.
Yeah, so I can talk to them, getting like different perspectives and just understanding like whatever your problem is right now, it's not going to be the same problem in 20 years, right?
That is true. But still, people go to therapy session. They still like like it depends upon basically what is the root cause of stress, right? Some people have stress because of like breakups,
Yeah,
divorces,
yeah.
job getting lost and stuff like that. So it depends upon where the stress is coming from. That's the answer to the basically that will be, there will be different solution for different kinds of stress and depression. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And what I'm saying is like more of a blanket statement, but I think real change happens when you decide you're done doing the same old stuff all over again.
Got it. Nice. Can you tell me a little bit about what does true happiness means to you?
I think true happiness is your basic amenities and then having enough for leisure, right? I think that's true happiness. And little to no stress, good health. I think that would be true happiness for me.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. So basically, right now, what I'm seeing is like people are so ambitious these days. They are not. They've forgotten their basic life. Like, what do we need for to live? Right? We
Right.
need shelter, food, and clothes. Right? And a little bit money to survive. But they're so ambitious. They are because of that they are getting stress and depression. Their life is shortened and stuff like that. So that's what I'm seeing. And people are working day and night to gather more money, more money, more money.
Do you feel like people are losing sight of the things that actually matter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The things which actually matters are family,
Yeah, I would
right?
agree.
Health, right? So for example, I have friends who don't work out. They just work and work and work. They don't talk to their family because they work and work and work. And the work people don't care. They just kick them out like a like something. They never care about the employees. I've been laid off 2 times in my company.
Yeah.
After that was a lesson. Like never care. Do your job, but not take it to the level of like it can affect you, your personal life. There should be a boundary between personal and work.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I feel like. Yeah.
What do you feel about like multiple streams of income and like people's ambition to have that, but they're sacrificing like certain aspects of like the here and now?
Yeah, I think in your mind should be clear about the priority. Like multiple stream of income is fine. It's good. It's important because you should not depend upon one income. But in terms of priority, it should be first your health, because if your health is not important, is not good, then you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Then your family, because they gave you birth, or your basically your wife, your husband, whatever, your kids, and then comes income, work, and everything.
Okay.
That's what my thinking is. And if you are having multiple streams of income, that's totally fine. Earn whatever you want, but the prioritization according to me is that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think without your health, there's not much you can do.
Right, because if you don't have a health, you can't like right if you basically you don't have mental clarity, or your body is not able to do like basic things, then you
Yeah.
can't do
You
earn
can't do
money,
a lot of
right?
stuff. Also, I think having like a way to like calm your mind, I think that's a skill not talked about enough.
Yeah, how do you calm your mind?
I don't. Like truthfully, I will do yoga meditation practices. I don't think it fixes the problem, but it helps me snap out of the I need to do this and I need to do that and looking at the bigger picture. But also, I just consistently tell myself the things I'm trying to achieve aren't going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time.
Right.
As long as I'm making movement towards them.
And also letting things go, right? So there's some things which are not in your control,
Yeah.
and some things are in your control. So basically, things which are not in your control, let it be like that. Don't force it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of hard though, because I think as at least for like our generation, a lot of us are like in our 30s, right? At this point, late 20s,
I
30s.
thought you were in 20s
No, I'm
or
30.
19s,
No.
teenager.
I wish. I would do a lot of things over. I lost my train of thought.
Okay. So what is the end goal of your life? What is what do you want to achieve in your life?
I want to be able to travel a lot.
But don't you think travel? Like I've been to 40 countries. Every country looks the same to me now.
After a while, yeah, because you've stopped appreciating those unique experiences, right? When it's go, 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 go all the time.
Yeah, you have to, like before I was traveling 2-3 days every country, which is very quick, and you see the same river, same mountains and
Exactly,
everything.
yeah.
But you have to spend time in country, and when you talk to local people,
Yeah.
enjoy the food, spend more and more time in one city, then you appreciate,
Yeah, I think
and
so.
then basically you like the country. That's what I'm at that stage right now. Recently been to Mexico, stayed for 2 months. I loved
Yeah.
it so much. So now take it slow, and that's what I'm doing. Taking it slow, spending more time in one city or one country, not like quick. Like I remember I traveled like 10 countries in 40 days.
Really? That's a lot.
It was back to back to back to back when I was 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, coming back to the question, what's the end goal?
My end goal in life would be to live a life well lived, which is abstract, but can I think for a minute?
Having a lot of babies.
No. I just want 2 kids.
Okay. When are you going to get married?
I mean, I would like to get married
Why
when
you're
I'm
not getting
31.
married?
Who am I going to marry? The ducks?
Why is it difficult to find a partner?
I think it's difficult to find a partner because people get very hung up on the expectations their parents place on them. Coming from immigrant parents, I think this is particularly bad for us, ABCDs. I've noticed that. I think another reason where it's hard to get married is because having access to a lot of choices makes it hard for you to pick a choice. And I do think there's this syndrome of like, the grass is green somewhere. You just need to find that grass. So I don't think people always put the effort that is required.
Coming back to the first point you mentioned,
Mm.
there's like our parents put a lot of like expectation on us,
Mm.
or like what kind, like do they force us to get married to certain person or certain age, certain looks or something like that, or same culture?
I think culturally speaking, there's a big emphasis on marrying somebody successful. And I think for like as a woman, it's marrying a man who's successful, who makes enough money or is able to provide for you and your eventual family. There's a big emphasis on that, and I think it might deter taking a chance on somebody who maybe will not be at that level right now, but will be eventually, in the hopes of.
But that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing for a parent to do.
It's a good thing, but I think it's kind of short-sighted. I'm not saying take a chance on potential, but I am saying that like I think it makes it really hard for some people to find what they're looking for because they have the fealty to the parents and like the parents' expectations on them.
So you have to satisfy your parents.
Yes.
And then you need
and
to
then satisfy yourself.
satisfy yourself.
And then you see a lot of people in unhappy marriages.
Unhappy marriages, you see a lot of options. And as you mentioned, grass is always green on the other side.
Yeah.
If you're talking to someone, you always think maybe you can get a better person, right? So those are some of the reasons, which is very generic. Everyone is facing that.
Exactly.
In our generation.
Yeah.
Things were different before, and things after our generation are also different. I don't think the generation after us gonna get married ever.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Why do you think that?
I think they are in a different game. The emotions are not in their like picture, in their DNA. Like our parents and our grandparents were in a different game. Their emotions was one, and arranged marriage was a concept over there.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, they have one choice. They have to get married to one person, and they have to like
figure it out.
They figure it out. They have to work towards it. There's fights and stuff, but they're still together. They are working together in a relationship. But right now it's very volatile. If things are not working, they break.
You have a younger brother, right?
Yeah.
Would you loop him into the generation that you don't think that they
No,
will?
he's my generation.
Yeah. Okay, so there's not too much difference between you.
It's only 5 years. I'm talking about generation 10 years, 15 years younger than me. Yeah, they are different. They use different slang. Even I don't understand that. Different words. They come from a different League of Legends game or something like that.
I'm not sure. I guess we'll see.
You call yourself millennial or Gen Z?
I'm a millennial. I'm 30.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I'm talking about Gen Zs.
Yeah, I know some Gen Zers. I don't know. It's really hard to tell because they're in their early 20s or late teens, so they're not thinking about marriage right now.
Yeah. So coming to the point, right? So the finding a partner is hard.
Right.
We talked about the reasons.
Right.
And then you were talking about the end goal.
Mhm.
One of the goal you mentioned was having babies, right?
No,
And then no, okay.
no, I'm
What was
getting there.
what was what is the end goal? Being happy?
Oh, of the life?
Yeah,
Living a life well lived.
well lived. That is very generic. Can you be
Well,
specific?
okay.
Like,
Can I think for a minute? What is my end goal in life? My end goal in life is to live a life well lived and know that I created a purpose for myself.
that's deep, interesting. Yeah. Are you working towards that?
I would say I am. What about yourself?
Hmm. Actually, I just want to be happy.
Babies?
Babies give me happiness. Then yeah,
Mm.
I think one day babies. One day
Okay.
I want to get married. I want to live with my family, have 15, 20 babies.
Okay.
I admire Genghis Khan. He has 200 babies. So one wife in every country. I love Muslim culture actually a lot. I wish I was born Muslim. Three wives, lot of babies.
I think that might be a misconception. But yeah.
Why misconception?
Well, trying to keep it a little bit more surface level, you have to get the blessing of the first wife.
I know. You have to get the blessing, but I think you can, right?
I don't know.
If the wife agrees.
I'm not a man. I wouldn't know.
Okay, but if like you are a Muslim,
Hmm.
right? If a man comes to you, like your man, and says, "Can I do a second marriage?"
No.
You will say no. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, you have to have a blessing on the first wife. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. Sounds good. We talked a lot about different topics. So one other thing is, are you focused in your life?
I feel like I go through waves. I go through waves of like intense focus, and then I go through waves of like, I don't know what I'm doing here anymore. And I tend to get into that rut when I'm not seeing movement. Like I'm putting in work, and like nothing's just going. So I tend to like refocus myself again by telling myself like, just because I don't see it happening doesn't mean it's not working. And if it's truly not working, change your approach.
How
That's
to be
something I tell
focused in
myself a lot.
how to be focused in the life?
Eliminate your distractions. Like people, there's a lot of crutches people use to not face their problems. Eliminate your crutches, eliminate your distractions. I think taking care of yourself, health-wise, mentally, and emotionally, is going to reflect in a lot of different areas.
That is true. Yeah. Can you talk about opening a business?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you thought about opening a business
Yeah, I
here?
have.
Okay. Is it easy to open a business?
I have not crossed that bridge yet because I'm trying to focus on some other things.
Like marriage? Finding a partner? No, see, from my perspective, I will tell you. I want to open a business one day, but my life priority is to find a partner because, partner is your second half. It's like you, and you are achieving like a goal or like different goals, and you are actually, it's like a plant. When you water the plant grows. So it's
Yeah.
like a relationship. You are together. You are helping her to achieve her goal. She is helping you to achieve your goal, and you're marching towards together, right? So finding a partner is the most important thing in life you can do. So I think that's my goal, primary goal.
Okay.
I have not achieved that. After that, I think business and all are secondary. That's what I feel.
Okay, that makes sense. I would say my primary goal is with my career. There are a lot of moves I want to make right now. My primary goal is just that. My secondary goal would be business oriented. And then tertiary goal would be, yeah, settling down, finding like the right partner.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you want to open a software business or a hardware? Hardware as in the shop kind of thing?
Actually, neither. I would want to do services, maybe something in the outdoors industry. I'm not too sure yet.
Outdoor industry. What does it mean?
Yeah, so maybe offering like a product to help people when they're camping or backpacking or hiking.
You want to make product.
Yeah.
So sell that through different agencies or online or something.
Yeah, I haven't put too much thought into it, but maybe something like a product, or just sell it wholesale.
Okay. What kind of product? Have you thought about it?
No, this is just something I kind of daydream on the back end. So primary goals are still like the career.
Yeah, that is true. I travel a lot. I do a lot of camping.
Yeah.
I feel like people who are new to the camping, they take a lot of time to set up a tent.
Oh yeah, that's a good one actually.
And if you are a pro, then it's easy. But if you are a newbie, then it takes a lot of effort and to set up a tent. So I was thinking maybe prepared tent. You just click a button. It's a small folded tent, and then basically it just expands
That would be
and
really
then
nice.
and
Yeah.
contracts automatically.
Do you go backpacking often?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice when you're tired from hiking and you don't have to do anything.
Hmm.
Or like those, you remember like being a kid and those like pop-up tents?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the wires?
Yeah, it's very easy to make, and I think a lot of people will love it because people are very simple. They love simplicity and stuff. So I think it will be good if we have that. That's one idea. Also, I have a lot of experiences when I travel, right? So during backpacking, I was having camping. One day I woke up and
Right.
there was deer around my tent and they ate my food. I was wondering, some people have not deers, they have bears. And that's why they carry bear spray. Have you ever experienced that?
Having a bear around me?
Bear or some animal who can kill?
Yes, I've gone on quite a few hikes and like backpacking trips where I did see like a bear or a moose, but not close enough for me to worry. I would say the one time I did encounter a scary animal, it happened to just be a squirrel, so I wasn't too worried about it.
Wow. Squirrel is...
I mean, they eat through a lot of stuff, so.
Come on, I was thinking about like you're going to talk about lion or tiger.
I'm too scared. I'm too scared.
One day I want to go to like safari and touch tiger or lion. I have a like a friend who do a lot of like scuba diving, and he does scuba diving where the sharks are there.
That would be fun.
He has touched sharks.
He has.
He has taken photos close enough to be eaten by a shark.
That's pretty cool.
That's his next podcast coming up.
Okay.
So it's amazing. And he wants to die in the teeth of shark because he doesn't want to die a normal way. Yeah.
How does he want to end his life?
As a food.
Okay.
In the mouth of a shark. Yeah.
In the mouth of a shark. Okay.
Yeah. So traveling is fun.
What's a country you have wanted to travel to for a long time but you haven't gotten to?
I think I always keep on thinking about Turkey, but never got a chance. It's always a midway between US and India. I always keep on thinking like taking a hop and then going to India, but the opportunity never happened because I always keep on looking for cheaper flights, and whenever I go to India, the flights are cheaper somewhere else. So never got a chance to go to Turkey. I recently been to Guatemala and London, and going to Costa Rica. So my goal is to travel 5-6 countries, new countries every year, so that I can cover like 190 countries one day.
That's a lot, yeah.
Because there's 190 countries on the world. Yeah.
Are there any islands that you want to travel to or that are on your radar?
Something exclusive, like which are not explored by humans. I want to go to Antarctica and take a photo with penguins. I want to go to Madagascar.
That would be fun.
I want to go to like Central America. Like there's an island called San Andreas in Colombia. I want to go there. Colombia is fun.
Haven't been. I want to go there.
Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii actually in September, my birthday. So islands are fun, but you need to have 6-pack abs to go there. So I'm working on that. Just kidding.
Just drink a 6-pack before you get to Hawaii.
Okay.
How old are you turning in September?
I'm not telling my age.
24?
24. Yeah, I'm 19 actually. Turning 30. Then turning actually 20. Yeah.
You've done quite a bit for a young budding 30-year-old.
No, I'm 34.
You're turning 34?
I'm turning 35.
Oh.
Yeah, not old, not young. I'm fine. I appreciate whatever I've done in my life. I feel happy. I have invested a lot. I like my parents. I meet them. God has given me good health. Yeah, that's what I appreciate about. I think everyone gets old. It's fine. We should
Everybody
not think
gets old. I think it's what's in your head and your heart.
Yeah, I keep on thinking, like keep on like thinking about the age. I was like, when I was 29 to 30, I was thinking, oh, I'm turning 30. But now it's like going like train, The more you think, it's like the more fast your age goes.
So where do you want to be when you're like 37? Not physically, just where do you want to be in your life?
Having a business, as you mentioned, career.
Yeah.
Setting up business, something, earning more money, driving a Lamborghini. That's what I feel like. And also being content and being happy, being more peaceful. Yoga has provided me things like being content with your life, being happy spiritually, mentally. Mental is more important. Physical things are not important, but there has to be balance.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. But we are not like priests, we are not like sadhus living in jungles.
Yeah.
We are normal materialistic human beings, but we have to be learning about detachment, but there has to be a balance. That's what I feel like. Cool. Here we talked a lot about a lot of things. I have to make multiple cuts, multiple videos out of it, which is fine. Any last thought or advice or closing journey or anything you want to give in entire life? We talked about, see, we talked about travel, we talked about spirituality, talked about stress and depression, we talked about war, like Gaza and all. Anything you want to touch base and closing thoughts?
I think my closing thought would be to zoom out from the micro nuances in everyday life, look at things at a macro level, bigger picture. I think bigger picture helps a lot of people.
So stepping out, taking a break, and just looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, step out, take a break, look at the bigger picture, and then hop back in and make sure you're making movements, small or big. Make a movement.
I think that matters. Small increments towards your
Yeah.
goal. That's
Yeah.
what matters.
Yeah. Well, this was fun.
Cool. Thank you so much
Yeah, thank
to be
you.
in my channel. It was nice to have you. And maybe we should do one more on a different topic someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.